There is a moment most people never talk about. Not the moment when things go wrong, but the moment after, when you look at your life and you don't recognize it anymore. When everything feels like it happened to you, not for you. When you're tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. When you've done everything right and somehow it still feels like the ground keeps shifting under your feet. And in that moment, quietly, something inside you starts to wonder. Why does this keep happening to me? Why, no matter how much I try to change things, do I keep arriving at the same feeling, the same walls, the same exhaustion, the same ache that something is missing that you can't quite name? If you're in that place right now, I need you to hear something before anything else. What you're living isn't punishment. It isn't bad luck. It isn't a sign that you failed or that life has turned against you. It's the mirror. And it's showing you something you've been almost ready to see. There is a law that exists beneath everything, beneath what you can touch, beneath what you can explain, beneath all the stories you've told yourself about why your life is the way it is. It has no exception. It has no off days. It applies to every person in every season, at every moment, without fail. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world, not a metaphor, not a motivation poster, a law. The way gravity is a law, the way the tide follows the moon without question, without resistance. Whatever is living inside you, the beliefs you've never questioned, the wounds you've never named, the version of yourself you've been quietly carrying in the dark, it is projecting outward into your relationships, into your circumstances, into the patterns you keep finding yourself in, no matter how many times you tell yourself, this time will be different. The mirror doesn't choose what it shows you. It can only reflect what is placed before it. And here is what no one tells you about hard times. Hard times are not the mirror breaking. Hard times are the mirror becoming more honest. Think about that for a moment. When everything is comfortable, when life is smooth and manageable, it's easy to move through it without looking too closely. The reflection is soft enough, familiar enough, you can keep going, you can keep not noticing. But then something cracks open. A loss, a relationship that ends, a door that closes without warning, a season of deep, inexplicable exhaustion that no amount of rest or distraction seems to touch. And suddenly the mirror is right in front of your face. Not politely, not at a comfortable distance, right there. And it's showing you something you can no longer walk past. That's not cruelty. That's precision. The universe doesn't send hard times to destroy you. It sends them because something in your field, some energy you've been carrying so long it started to feel like part of you, has reached a point where it can no longer stay hidden, where it needs to be seen, where it is asking, with everything it has, to be released and transformed. The hard time is not the problem. It is the signal. It is the mirror pointing and saying, look here. Not there. Not anywhere else. Here. Now. What is it actually showing you? The first thing the mirror reflects is what you believe. Not what you say you believe, not what you intend to believe, what you actually, quietly, in your most private and unguarded moments, believe about yourself. About whether you deserve to be loved without earning it, about whether safety is real or whether it's only ever temporary. about whether good things can last or whether they always eventually get taken away, about whether you are fundamentally enough or whether you are always one thing short of it. These beliefs are not visible. They live underneath everything, like a current under still water. And the outer world, faithfully, without judgment, without mercy, and without cruelty, builds itself around them. If somewhere inside you there is a voice that says, I have to do everything myself or it won't get done, watch how many situations arise where you are left alone to carry it. If somewhere inside you there is a frequency that says, I am too much, watch how many people quietly step back. If somewhere inside you there is a knowing that says something is about to change, watch how the world rearranges itself before you've said a word out loud. The mirror is always listening, not to your words, not to your intentions, to your vibration, to the signal you are actually broadcasting from the deepest layer of your being. The second thing the mirror reflects is what you've lost, not things, not people, parts of yourself. At some point, and for most people, it happens gradually, quietly, without a single ceremony to mark it, you started giving pieces of yourself away to keep the peace, to be easier to love, to not take up too much space, to be the version of you that other people needed you to be, to survive something that required you to make yourself smaller. And those pieces didn't disappear. They don't disappear. They went into the mirror, and now they're showing up on the outside, in the people you're drawn to, in the qualities you admire so deeply that you can't quite claim as your own, in the hollow feeling that lives underneath even your happiest moments, in the things that stir something unnameable in you when you encounter them in someone else. The things you recognize in others that move you, that make you ache with something you can't explain, they are yours. The mirror is holding them, waiting for the moment you're ready to take them back. The third thing the mirror reflects is what's ready to emerge. This is the one most people miss entirely when they're inside a hard time. Because when you're in pain, it feels almost impossible to hold both things at once: the difficulty and the direction, the breaking open and the opening. But there is a pattern that repeats across every transformation, in every story of a life that shifted completely, in every woman who looked back and said that was the season everything changed. That was the year I finally understood. The mirror intensifies right before something new becomes possible, not after, before. The hardest chapter, the one that made the least sense, the one that felt the most like punishment, the one you would never have chosen, was always the chapter right before the opening, the pressure before the release, the contraction before the expansion, the ground clearing before something that has been trying to grow in you finally has the room to do it. The universe doesn't rebuild what doesn't first get cleared. So if you're in that season right now, if things are falling apart in ways that feel targeted, in ways that feel like they're touching everything you've built or believed or relied on, it may not be the end of something. It may be the last moment of darkness before a version of you that you haven't met yet steps forward. Here's the part that changes everything. You cannot change the mirror by rearranging what's in front of it. You can change your job, your home, your relationship, your city, your circumstances, and the mirror will follow you. Because the mirror isn't out there. The mirror is you. What's outside is only showing you what's inside. Move the outside and the inside stays the same. Shift the inside, and the outside has no choice but to rearrange, because it has never been anything other than a reflection. This is not about thinking positively. That idea is too small for what this actually is. This is about going into the current, the actual living current underneath your surface, and asking with honesty, without performance, without rushing to get to an answer that feels comfortable. What am I really running on right now? What is the energy that's shaping this reality? What do I believe in the quiet when no one is watching and I stop pretending I'm fine? And then not forcing a new belief, not performing a higher frequency, not pretending the pain isn't real, but gently with care, choosing a different signal, the way you tune an instrument, not by forcing it into pitch, by listening with patience until something in it rings true. The mirror will respond. It always responds. It cannot help it. Reflection is its only nature. You already know this. Some part of you recognized it before you could even finish the thought. That quiet, knowing that has been sitting underneath the fear, underneath the exhaustion, underneath all the noise of trying to figure out what to do next. You don't have to fix the outside. You don't have to force it or control it or make anything happen before it's ready. You only have to become willing to look, to see what the mirror is actually showing you, to receive the information it's been carrying, sometimes for years, with honesty and with something approaching compassion for yourself. The hard times are not evidence that something is wrong with you. They are evidence that something inside you is finally ready to be seen. And once it's truly seen, once it's met without flinching, the reflection begins to shift. Not eventually. It begins the moment you do. The universe has been waiting for you to look, not with judgment, not with urgency, just waiting. The way a mirror waits, patient, faithful, reflecting everything, withholding nothing, adding nothing that isn't already there. Now that you're looking, stay with it. Subscribe. I put out one video a week, just one, and it's always for the person who needed to hear it at exactly the moment it arrives. Tell me in the comments, when you look honestly at what's happening in your life right now, what do you think the mirror is trying to show you?